pretty dark in here. My phone thinks I need my light on. Interesting. Well, we shall see what happens. I'm up a little earlier today. Thursday, September 23rd. Good morning, it's Barbara. Thank you for joining me for coffee. We have a very rainy morning. We're hoping Dennis is correct and it'll only be about 4 hours because then we can have our WALK and all will be well. If it's longer than that, Pearl doesn't actually pee in the rain very often. So for her comfort and our peace of mind, let's hope it only lasts a couple more hours. And then it's going to be clear and cool and crisp behind this front. And it's going to feel like fall because fall came yesterday at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Or spring came. Happy spring to the southern hemisphere. And happy autumn to us. We are moving into sweater weather eventually. So yesterday it won't shock you to hear I didn't do very much. I read. And since I'm reading the Count of Monte Cristo, I'm only halfway through it now. A little more than half. But the other thing that's big difference, other than the beginning part which I skip, the problem with revenge novels and revenge movies is they always start with some horrible event. Because you have to have a horrible event to then go and revenge people about. I often skip the horrible event part. So I skipped the part at the beginning of the book where he gets set up and, you know, is so unhappy and everything, and started after he was sent to prison. But once I started, I have been reading all the words, which is not typical for me. I'm a very fast reader, partly because I skim. But when you're skimming, if you have a writer who writes beautifully, and, you know, you miss that when you're a skimmer. So every once in a while, I try to slow myself down and actually read the words. And to be honest, I didn't actually try to slow myself down. I just started reading the words. And since I've read it many times, well, not many times, but multiple times, you know, so like I don't know what's going to happen. So I started reading the words. It's taking much, much longer. See, that's the thing. But, so I did a lot of reading yesterday. I mailed 3 of the cards that I made to my brother and my son, whose birthdays they're going to be late for because they're the 26th, and one to my sister. So, within the family. But none of them will be surprised to get it late because it's from me. Yeah, pretty rainy. I like the sound of the rain though, so I don't mind that. As long as Pearl's comfortable, we'll be fine. It's not very windy, so I don't think my flowers are in jeopardy that are on the plant stands and things. So anyway, that's it for news. Is I do have some ideas of what I want to paint next and work on. Maybe I'll start that today. Maybe not. I don't know. It's a pretty cozy morning. Seems like a great morning to read, to just curl up and read in the, you know, rain. So I might just do that. Go with the, you know, go with the weather. I could work a little more on my boxy, but I'm not sure that I will do that. What else did I do yesterday? I just thought of something else I did yesterday. Oh. I cleared the table. I'm sitting here looking at the table all half cleared off. Because we had Dennis's chicken that aired in the fridge for 3 days. It was delicious. It was delicious. I'm imagining that 3 days of air on the skin, you know, it was a little dried out. But I imagine the fact that it's a little dried out makes it a little tougher. And so when it cooks, that skin probably holds the steam in better than it would have had it been softer. All speculation on my part, but it was really juicy. Really juicy. Even the breast meat was really juicy. And delicious. And Dennis put ghee on the outside with salt, and so the skin was really crispy and delicious. So that's what we had last night. He picked the carcasses last night, so whatever else we have with that chicken, it's after it's off the bone. We're not going to just have roasted chicken again. Because then the next step is broth, bone broth, and or stock, and then we'll call his mom and see if she needs more broth. And how she's feeling. She was feeling okay yesterday. Just as I was talking to her, the occupational therapist came, so I need to call her and find out how that went yesterday. That's to help her upper body, to help her, remind her not to move her left arm so much, because she had a pacemaker put in over there. So everybody's looking out after her. They got, somehow this agency has our phone number first. So when they call me, they think they're calling her. Yesterday morning, did I tell you this? Yesterday morning I got a call, and you know, we screen our calls, and it wasn't a number I recognized, and so she started talking on the machine. And then I picked it up, and she said, "I'm at the door, and you're not answering." I'm like, can you start over? Well, she had started by saying, "Hello, Mrs. Hoover, da 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 da." And it's very rare that I get called Mrs. Hoover, since it's not my name. But it happens. So that doesn't necessarily, just because they say, "Hey, Mrs. Hoover," doesn't necessarily mean they didn't mean to call this house. So anyway, it turns out it was the physical therapist knocking on the door, Aura's door, and nobody was answering. And so she was calling Aura, except she was calling me. I said, "Well, she should be there. My sister-in-law's there too. I'm sure they're home, so I don't understand. Are you at the right place?" And I gave her the address, and I said, "And there should be 2 cars parked there." She says, "There aren't any cars parked here." I said, "Well, then you're definitely at the wrong place. Because even if for some reason they left, they would have both left in the same car. So there would have been at least 1 car. There's no way Aura was driving anywhere." So I said, "You're definitely at the wrong place, because there are 2 cars," and I described the cars, and she says, "Oh, I'm at the neighbor." I'm like, "Okay, good. Now you know where you're going. I'm sure they're home." And so she found them. Apparently she didn't relate that story to them. Because I told her, when I talked to her yesterday, she's like, "Oh no, she didn't say anything." Of course, Aura's not remembering so great anyway, so I'm not so sure. Who knows if she said something or not. I'll ask Kim. Kim will remember. So anyway, so she had her occupational therapy yesterday. The last nurse visit she was supposed to have, the nurse called in sick. Couldn't come because she wasn't feeling well. I'm like, "Well, that's good. Don't come if you're not feeling well." But she's doing fine. So after I talk to you while I'm rendering, I will give her a call and see how she is doing. Whether or not we'll go today will depend a lot on the rain, I suppose. Maybe not. I don't know if we have much for her. But we'll have broth if she's out. Anyway, ramble. There you go. There's your ramble for the day. Put my glasses on. So, it's going to be a quiet day. Painting, knitting, reading. Some or parts of those three things is all I'm going to do. Walk the dog, maybe see my mother-in-law. Depends on circumstance. So I will bid you farewell. I hope you are well. Please take good care of yourselves. Please, please, please. I realized yesterday that my day before yesterday was good when I cleaned the car and everything. The other thing was I didn't go on Twitter very much. So I'm cutting down on my Twitter. It makes me feel better. So there you go. Don't watch the news, that kind of thing. Makes me feel better. Anyway, please take good care of yourselves. Please, please stay safe and stay sane.